Here's the time Bart flooded the gym and surfed on his own wave of chaos.
Have you lost your...
It gets worse than that though, like when Bart almost killed poor Martin. As you can see, Bart is a complex character to say the least. And if you're like me, you must have wondered what a psychologist might say about him. Now, I am certainly no licensed pro, but I'm still gonna do my darndest to comb through the chaos-filled life of Bart Simpson, looking at all the potential conditions he shows symptoms of, and seeing what a real professional might just say. Starting with his early childhood. When you're getting in the weeds with someone about the state of their mind, you usually go back to their childhood, but seeing as Bart's 10, we're gonna have to go back a lot earlier, to the times where he certainly didn't need the sugar high of a Slurpee to kick into action, although he is trying to slurp on something else here.
And I think Bart's finally outgrown his misbehavior.
As a toddler, Bart would see no problem in putting on a performance for his family. The kid has bags of energy.
This is my handle, this is my spout. A little teapot, short and stout. The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout.
Oh yeah.
She's not wrong. Bart needs to get that Inty Winty Spider medley on Spotify ASAP. So, as you can see, he's clearly got a thing for attention and running around like a frackin' maniac. We'll touch more on this later, but for now, I want to talk about some more early signs of Bart's, his potential psychopathy. Most kids are a handful at the toddler stage. They don't call it the terrible twos for nothing. But Bart takes a bit of bad behavior to a whole new level, even as a newborn. Like, surely most kids don't come out of the womb and immediately do this.
Daddy's little angel.
Or as soon as they can walk, they don't go from setting their dad on fire to stealing their wallet and flushing it down to the toilet.
Got your nose.
Got your wallet.
Well, if you'll pardon the pun, all that is child's play compared to what Bart did to one of his babysitters.
Hello, I'm Mrs. Simpson. Simpson.
When a kid is as unruly as Bart was at a young age, you gotta kinda question the parents. Homer and Marge certainly aren't the world's greatest parents, which is the understatement of the year. But aside from the odd hiccup here and there, Bart's loved by both of his parents, and in the early days, you can really see that.
Homer!
Homer's what grown-ups call me. Call me Daddy.
Homer!
Even if Bart's defiance is followed up with some good old-fashioned corporal punishment,
Dad!
Yes?
Domer!
Why, you little...
that kinda sums up Homer and Bart's relationship perfectly. Where it matters, they show that they love each other, but Bart can't help himself and has to try and make fun of his dad anyway. And Homer doesn't see the funny side, so hits him with the classic strangle. Remember guys, the show first aired in 1989. If we're being honest though, the whole strangling thing can't have done Bart any favors. I mean, sure, smacking kids might be bad, but it's gotta be better than full-on strangulation. So while Homer and Bart do love each other, thanks to Homer, Bart develops his anti-authority complex, which manifests as him clowning on his dad. But what about Marge? Well, she's very much Bart's safe person. He's not one for the gooey mumbo-jumbo, but really, we all know he's a mama's boy.
I love you so much.
Mom!
We don't see a lot of Marge and Bart's connection from when he was a toddler, but that's because she's pretty much the perfect mom. In fact, maybe the only thing Marge might have gotten wrong here is picking Homer to be her husband. But that's a story for another video. There's another member of the Simpsons household who we should just quickly touch on, and that's Lisa. As we know, Bart's the oldest Simpson kid, and when you find out that you're not gonna be the only kid in the family anymore, that can be quite a shock. You know, because one minute you're the center of attention, and the next, you're not.
What do you think of little Lisa?
I hate you.
Like, remember that itsy bitsy spider routine we saw him do for Patty and Selma earlier? He usually sings to them when they come and visit. Well, now little Lisa's running around. Bart's yesterday's news.
A new song.
You still here?
Alouette.
You already sang that part. The older they get, the cuter they ain't.
So as you can see, straight away young Bart not only does not like authority, but he's in constant competition with his sister for validation, which actually gets an episode of its own in season 6's Lisa on Ice. Basically, Bart's playing for a hockey team and Lisa's playing for the rival team. They're up against each other and they think whoever wins is now the favorite in their mom and dad's eyes. But when it comes to taking the final shot to win the game, Bart remembers how he really sees Lisa. They realize some things are more important than a stupid sibling rivalry.
Great game, Lise. Great game, Bart.
Obviously, that's both extremes. A lot of the time, Bart sits in the annoying big brother camp with Lisa, but again, when times get tough, they're there for each other. As Bart gets older, though, he starts to show more than just the odd flash of ADHD or psychopathy. He starts to get more complex, and we start to see other things creep into his psyche, like depression. It's sad to say, but Bart is no stranger to a spot of depression. I mean, do you guys remember how he was when Milhouse was banned from hanging out with him?
What's your problem, boy?
I had a fight with Milhouse.
That four eyes with a big nose. You don't need friends like that.
Hey, it's sad, but as soon as Marge pays Milhouse's mom a visit, they're allowed to be friends again, and that frown is immediately turned upside down. Things aren't so simple in the episode Boys of Bummer, though, when Bart stinks up the baseball field for his Little League team.
Simpson drops the ball. And he kicks it. And again. Oh, it's horrible, but you can't take your eyes away.
And it costs his team the game. It's so bad that the whole town ends up turning on him.
Isotots lose the pennant.
His self-esteem takes such a knock in this episode that he starts graffitiing the whole town with the words, "I hate Bart Simpson." I don't think a decade of therapy will be able to unpack that. Who needs a whole town anyway? As long as the kids in Springfield Elementary like you, that's all that matters. And to be fair, Bart isn't exactly a loser, but his place in the school food chain suddenly changes when he accidentally makes Nelson bleed.
You made me bleed my own blood.
It was an accident, man. A terrible, ghastly mistake.
Nelson swears to make Bart's life a living hell as payback, and the little guy can't take being bullied, so he heads home to hide.
I need help.
Come on, Bart.
Oh, man.
Here. Let me help you dry those tears.
Already bad enough, but then Homer proceeds to give him the worst bit of advice of all time.
I hope you're going straight to the principal about this.
And violate the code of the schoolyard? I'd rather Bart die.
What on earth are you talking about?
I know, snitches get stitches and all that, but Nelson is a big brute. Someone's gotta stop him. Bart actually rallies all the kids who are being bullied by Nelson to attack him and his gang, so maybe Homer's advice wasn't that bad after all. Believe it or not, though, the lowest point in the entire series for Bart was all down to his schoolwork. You see, despite being pretty switched on, Bart isn't that sharp of a kid, and he struggles with school to the point they're thinking about him retaking the whole 4th grade.
Maybe it would help him to be left back.
No, I mean it. He can't hold me back. I swear I'm gonna do better. As God is my witness, I can pass the 4th grade.
As you can see, though, he wants to give it one last shot, so he spends all of his time studying for an upcoming history degree. If he passes, they'll let him move forward with the rest of his friends, but if he fails, he's getting held back.
Well, Bart, it's a 59. That's another F.
I can't believe it.
He tried so hard to pass, and the fact that it wasn't looking good really eats at him, to the point he has a full-on breakdown.
Well, I would think you'd be used to failing by now.
I really tried.
There.
And I still failed.
There's just something so sad about a kid's best not being good enough. And I know, after this he shows some applied knowledge and passes, but for me, the moment when he thinks he failed is Bart's lowest moment in the show. And it might actually be thanks to something else that I noticed Bart shows signs of, ADHD. After being given the chance to study again for the test, Bart does sit down and tries to give it his all, but he can't concentrate. The words aren't going into his brain and he's retaining nothing.
Bart, it's past your bedtime.
This is hopeless.
Then later on in the episode, we see the same thing happen again. Only this time, instead of studying, he's procrastinating, wanting to go outside while it's snowing.
I'm not missing anything. How good could it be? Gotta study.
He does everything he can do to concentrate, locking himself in the basement, reading by candlelight, but it's all futile. He even starts smacking himself.
Do you want to be held back a grade? Concentrate, man.
And like you saw earlier, he still failed anyway. Lucky for him, Edna is a pretty nice teacher and bumps up his grade a bit. Aside from his problems at school, another classic sign that someone may have ADHD is their need to do things that excite them. They're thrill seekers, and obviously Bart is just that. In Bart the Daredevil, he does increasingly dangerous pranks, from skateboarding over his mom's car,
I did it. Wow!
to trying to jump Springfield Gorge. While his dad might have foiled him that time, in the Simpsons movie, they actually do make that very same jump. Apart from thrusting himself into danger, there is another form of thrill-seeking for Bart, and that, of course, is through his pranks. When you think of Bart Simpson, you think of three things: not having any cows, eating shorts, and is pulling some of the greatest pranks of all time. Like even something as simple as Skinner getting Bart to call his dad turns into one of the most memorable bits on the show.
Homer there?
Homer who?
Homer sexual.
1 second, let me check. Homosexual? Come on. One of you guys has gotta be homosexual.
Don't look at me.
Or how about the time he pranked the whole of Australia, then flew out to apologize, but instead did this to their prime minister.
And this is for the United States of America.
Mischief making goes hand in hand with ADHD. Bart's brain needs constant stimulation, and if he's not getting it, he's got to get it himself. You guys might class this as cheating, but out of all the things we've explored and will explore in today's video, Bart's ADHD is actually pretty concrete. That's because the show itself, he actually was diagnosed with ADHD. In Brother's Little Helper, after pushing Skinner to the edge, he's convinced that Bart has ADHD.
Bart has a classic case of attention deficit disorder. The point is ADD makes children restless and easily distracted.
Hi, Marge, it's me.
I wonder where he gets it from. By the way, he says ADD, but there's no clinical difference between ADHD and ADD, so for ease, let's just stick with saying ADHD. Anywho, Skinner sets Bart up to go on a new drug called Focusin, but it doesn't exactly work straight away.
My special little guy.
I'm having some side effects from the dope.
It's something to help you concentrate.
My testicles won't fit in my underwear.
Get those oranges out of there. Back in the lunches you go.
Ew.
His new meds take some time to kick in, but once they do, it's like he's a whole new kid. I guess he does have ADHD.
Bart, Krusty just fired his associate producer. I'm reading. No way. Is this all because of the whoop?
The Focusin is a new drug, though, and with that comes the risk of some side effects, and boy, are they hitting Bart pretty hard.
You're probably wondering about the coat hangers. They're to block the satellite that's been spying on me.
Okay.
Yikes, maybe half of America is secretly on Focusin. I know too many people who sound eerily close to Bart. Obviously, though, this ain't good, so Marge and Homer pull Bart off the new medicine, and they just want to go back to basics here, I guess.
Fresh air, lots of hugs, and good old-fashioned Ritalin.
When I can't stop fiddling, I just takes me Ritalin. I'm popping.
So there you have it, folks. I'm no expert, but if they're saying that in universe Bart has ADHD, I'm sure a real-life psychologist would follow suit. Maybe. That doesn't necessarily mean that, but we rock. Things are about to take a little darker of a turn now as we come to look at times where Bart Simpson was a potential psychopath. Now, it ain't unheard of to be classed as a psychopath at 10 years old. Let's see how Bart clocks up against it. They usually say it starts out small. Instead of doing weird stuff to humans, psychopaths usually start on animals.
Where's your science fair project, boy?
I thought I'd investigate the effects of cigarette smoking on dogs.
Bart, don't give the dogs cigarettes.
Well, that checks out. What sort of psycho would force-feed a defenseless animal a bunch of cigarettes? Well, Bart takes his vile experiments one step further when he finds out that Principal Skinner is deathly allergic to peanuts.
I brought you breakfast in bed. Eat it.
Oh yeah, force-feeding someone trash is totally normal, and if they say no, they get to painfully die. I think Bart would make one hell of a jigsaw. To be fair to him, though, as we've already seen, he's no stranger to whipping up some elaborate contraptions. Although his are usually for pranks. Well, you can call them pranks, but what's funny about those? Okay, I lied, it's a little funny. Bart basically built his own torture device for his dad, but believe it or not, he's done worse to poor old homie. Like the time Bart tried to get even with his dad for April Fools by, oh, I don't know, making a bomb. By the way, that explosion put Homer in a coma. Bart doesn't mess around when he's trying to get revenge. Yet for me, torturing and nearly killing his dad isn't the worst thing he's done. If you ask me, the worst and most warped thing Bart has ever done is pretend he was a lost little boy trapped down a well.
Hootman! Sounds like trouble a-brewing at the old well.
Help me, please. I fell down the well.
And even after the entire town were out worried sick, trying to save what they thought was a kid in an emergency, Bart didn't care. He just upped the ante.
My name is Timmy O'Toole. I just turned 10 years old. I have no family. I tried to enroll in school, but your Principal Skinner turned me away because of my shabby clothes.
He's a liar.
From physical violence to emotional manipulation, Bart Simpson has it all. And hey, he might not be a psychopath, but he sure as hell acts like one sometimes. But I'm certainly not qualified enough to say. If you ask me, though, Bart shows strong signs of pretty severe depression, ADHD, and for a 10-year-old, a super concerning amount of psychopathy. You never know, though. Bart's only 10. By the time he's 21, he could be on the straight and narrow, finally happy with his ADHD fully under control. Well, that's all the psychoanalyzing we got for you today. If you want to check out some more Simpsons content, then we got plenty over on my channel. Or if you're wanting something instant, then you can always click on the video right about now. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching.